Here from Instagram and paradoxreport/youtube.com on YouTube. So today's video is on what I admire and loathe about each sign. Not love, but loathe. So we're starting with what I admire and love first. The loathing will come in the second part of the series. So let's start from the top with the #1 sign of the Zodiac, Aries. So what do I admire about Aries? Aries takes initiative. Aries is cardinal. Aries female can see a potential love interest or relationship interest, right? Or someone that we find attractive. And we don't wait, unless, we're only doing sun signs here. So it also depends on all the other aspects of one's chart, but let's start from the ground up. So Aries, for the most part, will initiate contact if we see something with someone that we like, with both male and female. Female just has to bear in mind that they need to tap into that Venus aspect that they have, and hopefully it's, if not that, maybe their moon that they can tap into to make their approach a little bit softer. So I admire that about Aries females. What I love about Aries females and males, but more specifically the females with that aspect. When we talk about Aries as a whole, whether male or female, I dare you to tell an Aries, especially if you think they're lazy or you just want to fuck with them, right? But if you say it in a serious sense, like, I bet you can't do X, Y, and Z. Aries is going to tell you, not only can I do it better than you, and we're not going to tell you, we're going to show you. Not only can I do it, I can do it better than you can. So, Aries, we be on it like that. So, Aries is all about that initiation and ideas. Aries has a ton of ideas. Follow through and consistency might be a bit of a challenge, but we always got a great idea. So, that's it. That's all for Aries for right now. Taurus. Let's get into Taurus. What do I love about Taurus? Taurus know how to keep a job. Taurus can teach Aries a thing or two about keeping a job. What I admire about them is that they can keep a job, be on time, be consistent, be efficient, even if they don't like the fucking job. I've never seen anything like that in my life, except for from a Taurus. So, I have an aunt and an uncle that are a Taurus. I have close friends that are Tauruses. And I mean, all of them, when I think of it, they've had jobs for years. And another thing I noticed about the Tauruses that I'm thinking of, I know a couple of Taurus teachers as well. But they usually will go for a trade. They'll just go for what it is. And even if they haven't gone to school, they end up finding a job that absolutely complements and can carry them in life, you know what I mean? So they can earn, a decent salary and not really start from the nut bottom. So I admire that about Tauruses. Some like to say that Taurus females, because here's two things I noticed about Taurus females. Taurus females, some of them aren't that. They kind of dress. They're not really interested. They don't really like bright colors. I'll say that. I see them like in very dark colors. I don't feel like the females go that hard with how with luxury items as the males do. And then not all males. I want to say some younger males. So, because Taurus is a lot of people will correlate them as with luxury and luxury items, and that's not really what it's about. For Taurus, it's really about what makes them comfortable. I have Venus and Taurus in the second house, so I'm exalted as fuck when it comes to Venus. It's really about what makes us comfortable. We may have Taurus may have a vast knowledge on luxury goods and items and how to attain luxury, but they don't necessarily, have to have luxury. They want to have comfort. They want to know and they know how to attain that level of comfort, hence the consistently going to work, getting things done, whether they like it or not, because there's a bigger plan in mind. And a lot of the time, like I said, what they're earning is actually worth them getting up and going, that sort of thing. All right, so that's Taurus. Wednesday. Why did I say Wednesday? Maybe because Wednesday is correlated with Mercury and Gemini. That's very interesting that my mind just flipped everything like that. So, all right, Gemini. What do I love about Geminis? Okay, Geminis. I love Geminis because Geminis will tell you real quick, like, where you're fucking up and who not to fuck with. I have so much respect for an individual that I was working at JCPenney. She's a Gemini sin. And what I admire about them is that they will come to you straight up and be like, look, don't fuck with X, Y, and Z, because they don't have your best interest at heart. I like that about Gemini. And they don't do it in a sense to start up trouble. No, it's to put you on and let you know, because their mental, the way that their mind is set up, they can see how, you know, people tend to be comfortable around them with talking and that sort of thing, and they can see the higher plane of what's really going on, and especially an evolved Gemini. But Geminis as a whole they'll look out for you. You know, they tend to get a bad rap. Gemini is not two-faced. If you want to say two faces, these are the two faces. They fuck with you, and then you played yourself, so now they don't fuck with you. That's the only time that you see that other side of a Gemini. Gemini, highly intelligent, especially Mercury and Gemini. And I know this is supposed to be about what each sun sign, but I can't help but mention other aspects. Also, they are funny as hell, especially Mercury and Gemini. Very funny. I have a homegirl who's a Cancer with Mercury and Gemini, and her jokes are like out of this world. She's just very, they're very witty, very quick. Also, Gemini men have their shit together. They got their bread together. They always got an idea of how to go about something. If they are hustlers or if they're business owners, they always see the pit, and they know how to they know how to miss the pit, if you will. They know when to cut people off. They being that they have that nature of not staying in one place, that kind of keeps the Gemini out of certain situations as well. So I admire those things about the Gemini as a whole. And when you have a Gemini partner, you really have to know how to deal with the Gemini, but that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But what I respect and honor about the Gemini is that they give that air. So I feel like if you miss that and you fuck up with the Gemini, you kind of knew from the gate what was expected from you without them telling you what they expect from you. All right, so we'll leave that there. All right, Cancer. Do y'all see the little fat kitty cat in the background? He's a fat little kitty. That's Big Smoke. I love him so much. He's this is pretty much his lot next door. But let's get to Cancer. Cancer. I have a Cancer child. He's a teenager now. I have had many Cancer boyfriends. My very first friend was a Cancer. The young lady I was just talking about, and the Gemini, regarding Mercury and Gemini, she's a Cancer. So, Cancers. What do I love and respect and admire about Cancers? Cancers are another one, sort of like Taurus, where they get up and they'll go to work, right? They'll go to work, but then they don't really reach for the next level at work. They're very comfortable where they're at. Whereas Taurus will take the next step. You know, Cancer is they're very comfortable. They're very, very comfortable. I don't know what the hand movement is about, but they're very comfortable where they're at in a job. So I don't know if I can say that I admire that. So let me say this. I admire that Cancer is willing to get the job done. They are, you know, and they're very, whether they're male or female, you know, Cancer will cook for you. Cancer is all about, you know, they like to bake. They like to make sure that you're good. They're nurturers. They sincerely are, whether they're male or female. And everything else that I really want to say about a Cancer is something that I loathe about them. So, but you can tell they're great friends. You know, you can tell. I think that when you have where I can admire a Cancer more is when we are in a friendship. And then I have my child who's a Cancer. So because when you're really close with a Cancer, it's like certain respect goes out the window. But I want to say positive for Cancer in this video. So I want to say that Cancer is a good friend. So when you have a Cancer as a friend, you can tell them anything. You can tell them anything about any situation. And if they're a male, they'll keep their mouth shut. If they're a female, it depends. It depends on the situation and the circumstance. So you can tell them anything, and they're going to give you the absolute best way to handle it. They're really good like that because, you know, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it's ruled one of the elements is water. Well, the element for Cancer is water. So they're picking up things from the spirit realm, right? From through the emotions and through the moon and through the memory and that sort of thing. So all of that automatically assimilates for Cancers. So they can tell you immediately how to handle a situation, what specifically to say in that situation for you to come out on top, or how to deal with it appropriately. So that's what I admire about Cancers. Who's next? After Cancer, we have Leo. Oh, yes. I love Leos. Leos. Okay. So I know. I like to tell, like, who I have around me that's a Leo. My mom is a Leo. One of my favorite uncles is a Leo. One of my closest friends, she's a Leo. And they're all August Leos. So I absolutely love Leos. What do I admire about Leos? I admire that Leos are another one. Because some Leos will go hard and read, you know, for their dreams, and others will do what they have to do until they can do what they want to do. But with Leos, they have themselves set apart. They are automatically set apart. They may come off as quiet at first, sort of like a Virgo to a certain degree. A lot of Leos will just be watching. You know, Leo kind of gets a funny rap about, oh, they want to be center stage and no. They just want to be known, not just, but a main characteristic of a Leo is wanting to be known for what they're good at, or what it is that they know. So they know how already to set themselves apart from everyone else. Leo males as children, they might get into a little bit of, you know, they might be a little mischievous, that sort of thing. But when we get to... when they get a little bit older, when they're teenagers, they begin to sit back and watch. And then they learn how to separate themselves from trouble. At least we should hope that they do, so that they don't have to learn the hard way. Nevertheless, so when we talk about Leo and what I admire about Leo, how they set themselves apart, how they gain lots of knowledge. Leo doesn't really like to come out and talk about things that they don't know about. And they don't necessarily like for the camera to be on them. And that's in a literal sense. And so I admire too that when it comes to a Leo female, they are fantastic in relationships. I think that they are probably one of the signs that can really piss off the male because of how aloof and how nonchalant and how they're just like whatever. You know what I'm saying? They really treat relationships as an asset versus a necessity. And even though that's sort of like a paradox, because relationships are sort of a necessity, but without me getting too deep, I love that about Leos and how they just know how to be by themselves. They know how to have the efficient communication in relationships, and this goes for business relationships. It goes for friendships. But I truly admire how the Leo female is in her male-female relationships. How and you know, this can work. Sometimes that can work to a disadvantage, but that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. We're going to start to what I sincerely admire about them. And they always have, they have a logical angle, and maybe it's because they're fixed. They have that fixed sign. They have a logical angle on how you should go about things and how to kind of look at, and it's a masculine sign. So how it is that you can look at a relationship and how you can kind of play chess. Maybe Leos know how to play chess, and maybe that's because I don't. I have to learn these things from the ground up. But nevertheless, I admire that about Leo. Another thing about Leos, oh my gosh, they're just so royal. They're so royal in their own right. Leos, I love that they are so giving. They are so loving. They are they are just really great individuals, and they are ruled by the heart too, right? There's a correlation with the heart with Leo. Hearts of gold, I'll tell you that. I really just love them. I'm like so passionate about Leos. So I admire that they are willing to give you, if you are family or if you are a good friend, you already know that the Leo is going to open up their doors for you. You know, if you're coming from out of town, if you need to use their car, if you need, you know, to make some things happen, if you just need their time and energy, I absolutely admire that about Leo, because like they're there for you. Like as long as they can be there, they're there for you, and that's more often than not. Okay, so next after Leo we have Virgos. I was raised by a Virgo, and when I say that, my mom's involved, my grandparents are involved, but you know it takes a village, right? So raised by a Virgo. My Nana is a Virgo. My grandma on my father's side, she's a Virgo. My other close uncle, he's a Virgo. So I got a lot of Virgos around me. But the thing is, what do I admire about Virgos? They, oh, where do I even start with the Virgo? So, Virgos as a whole. Okay, because I like to say that, you know, males and females, and through a lot of the signs, are going to be different. So, with Virgo, I love how, even though if they're a mess, like if they're physically a mess, like physically or around them is a mess, they still have a keen insight and plan, a blueprint of how to get shit done the right way and how to achieve the highest goal and what they have to do to achieve it, and they make the steps to gain those things. So, and if they are, you know, and then so a lot of Virgos know how to attain wealth, especially the male Virgos. They can take that and they can spin that intense logic and mental agility toward financial gain. And they can really help you in determining which way you need to go within your career. And they're going to direct you in a way where you will make money. They're not going to just say, oh, well, just go get this job. No, they are going to direct you in a path in which you can gain income. I admire that about them. With the Virgo women, they're very strong. I don't know what happens behind closed doors with Virgo women when they break down, but they have such a peace about them. And I don't know if it's a front. I don't know that it could really be a front to be that strong and rooted no matter what you've lost. Or I don't even want to start getting emotional, but this is a very strong female sign. Well, now I'm speaking more so about the female. This is a stronger, the Virgo is a very strong individual. Especially the female, when it comes to loss, when it comes to doing for their family. Virgo female may not be the best acting friend. And I don't mean that in a negative way. And I'm not really sure why that is. That hasn't, you know, I haven't gotten that download as of yet. So I think it may be because their angle is to be as pure as possible with their approach and how they deal with other individuals. And making sure that their home is taken care of first. Again, we're dealing with an earth sign, so and that stability is very important for the Virgo. Making sure that they can do for themselves is very important. Making sure that, you know, that their needs are met. So, and Virgos, you know, people look at them a certain way, but the thing that you don't know about a Virgo is that, because they've always got this air of perfection, and God bless them. God has blessed them on that one. You would never know that something is wrong. Now, a lot of the time Virgo might look mean because they're in their heads, or they're not even aware of that. They're just they kind of have a serious air, but they're good people on the inside. And what I admire about them too is that they are funny. They're very funny in a very dry way. So, and they make sure that, like I said, they make sure their family is good. They make sure that everybody has what they need. So, that's all I'm going to say about Virgo. Libra. Oh, Libras. I had to think of all the nice things I could possibly say about a Libra. So I've gained a lot of respect for Libras. So this is about what I admire. I got to focus on that. What is it I admire about Libras? Libra males and females. You know what? they get creative jobs. They're very artistic. They get things by chance, right? And they're not necessarily the most beautiful, what we consider to be beautiful, I guess, or an exotic kind of beauty, but there's always something about them that is very beautiful, that's very attractive. And that too is, they are ruled by Venus. So what I admire about Libra is that Libra will, like, they'll keep all their ideas pretty much on the low, right? They might share things with a couple of people, but Libra, no matter how big the dream, no matter how crazy that dream might have seemed to people when they were growing up or when they were in high school and they were first mentioning it, everybody thought it was the craziest thing and that would not happen. And then when you meet when you run into the Libra as an adult, this individual is really working towards those things. Not only that, there's opportunities, there's doors opening for them. And what I honor the most about Libras is that they have this amazing way of balancing the scales. They are diplomatic in the sense that they can deal with people, and they may not be able to they can't stand that person on, like, deep inside, but you would never see it, you would never know. It's just very sweet and genuine because they know that this is what has to be done. So you end up liking them. You end up liking them off of that. Now there are some, and I'll say that for the loathing video, so I'm not even gonna go there, but I admire that about Libras. All right, Scorpios. What do I admire about Scorpios? Now, I have had a best friend for 25 years who was a Scorpio, and I still love her to this day. We don't speak as much, if at all. So, but what I can say about Scorpio and being so close to him for so long is that they are, Aries and Scorpio are two peas in a pod. The only difference is, well, one of the main differences is that they go about things totally differently, and so they can feed off each other with that. And with my Scorpio ex-bestie, and I hate to even call it that, but it is what it is, we came up with Paradox Report together, and she would always challenge me. So I want to say what I admire about Scorpios is that they will challenge you. In fact, when you meet a Scorpio at first, they're going to do some real funny, conniving, in-your-face bullshit to see how you're going to react. And the reason why they do that is because they want to see if you have the mental strength and agility to really even fuck with them on that level. So I admire that about them. They're all about their money. They know how to get money. They know how to get money by themselves. They know how to organize their ideas. They know how to get the top dollar. They will go home. Let's say that there's a job or an interview that they have in a week. They will go and they will buy the book. They will purchase the book on how to do Excel, how to do PowerPoint, and they will have that down to the T. They will have that down to the T for that interview. They will do their dirt all by their lonely. I admire that. They have, I won't say all, but a lot of Scorpios, and I believe my ex-bestie has a Libra moon, if I'm correct. So a lot of them can be keen on luxury items, and they really attain them. Not, you know, they like to spend their money on sort of like a Capricorn, where luxury is very important to a Scorpio, especially Scorpio females. And it's not a trend for them. It's sincerely a lifestyle of luxuriousness. So also they're good friends. But what I was saying before about them being sort of like, they're like Aries, they're two peas in the pod. Aries would be the external and or the exoteric, and then the Scorpio would be sort of like the esoteric, the inner being, the dark aspect, the yin aspect of the situation, that feminine aspect, right? If you will, they're a fixed sign. So whereas Aries is that cardinal, Aries will initiate. Scorpios can carry the shit out on their backs, and they know what works, what doesn't, and how to get to where they need to go immediately, you know. And they also have the thing where they know how to pick partners. They know how to pick partners, and their rule, their natural placement in the zodiac wheel is the 8th house. So, and that deals with other people's assets, things, taxes, things that are underground, that sort of thing. So Scorpio knows how to zoom right in on those things and get what it is that they want out of a relationship, out of life, and stability for their children and that sort of thing. So I'm going to stop this video here because it's about to cut off. I will return with Sagittarius. All right, so we are back. I am back. And what time was I up to? Okay, so I just wrapped up Scorpio. Sagittarius. Let's go. Sag. I love Sagittarius. I love them so much. Sagittarius, what do I admire about them? They are great friends. They are full of fun. Sagittarius is that sign that totally understands they know how, I won't say they know how to balance it, but they're all about work and play. They don't believe in just working and busting your ass and not having a good time. I don't think that a Sagittarius could live without actually having a good time, having a drink. They like to enjoy life, but they are very adamant about their work and how they go about work. They're on time for work. They're another sign that will, you know, they'll sit back, and especially, you know, if they have someone or a parent or someone who's sort of guiding them, and a lot of the time Sagittarius does. Those that don't, they tend to like kind of go astray, but they get money other ways, but they still end up getting it either way. They're very diligent about having a good time. And I want to say that what drives the Sagittarius is that, can they have a good time? Like, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to get this money, but because I know at the end of the day, or at the end of the week, or at the end of the year, I'm going to go on vacation, I'm going to do this and that, and I'm going to enjoy myself. So I admire that about Sagittarius, because as a double Aries with a Virgo moon, I find it very hard to like just let go and like really enjoy myself. Now, don't get it twisted. Like, I like to have a good time, but things have to be in order before I can even allow myself to enjoy things. And I mean that on like, not like in a Virgo orderly like space situation, how many think of, but I mean it more of like, my life has to be in order. But anyway, Sagittarius, and I like having Sagittarius friends because they bring out that side of me. Whenever I feel like I need to relax, I call my Sag homegirl. She's like more like a sister, Lisa G. Like, she puts me in the space of being a kid again, of just really, because as a kid you enjoy your life. Shout out to Lisa G. So like, we watch Siesta Key together, either by phone or we text each other while it's on. Like, she brings out that fun part of me. So Sagittarius, if you don't have any Sagittarius friends, then you need to get your life together and get yourself a Sagittarius. Look at Virgo. I was gonna say look at Virgo. Look at Beyonce and Jay, right? She's all, you know, sort of like, kind of like that uptight Virgo. I want to appear perfect at all times. And Jay is just like, look, bitch, like, let's have a fucking good time. Like, stop being so concerned about all these other things that to the Sagittarius, they don't fucking mean shit. Being perfect doesn't mean shit to the Sagittarius. Just get your money and enjoy your life. So I love that, and I admire that about Sagittarius. So who's next? Capricorn. Capricorn. Okay, so my father was a Sagittarius, by the way. Capricorn. I love Capricorns. My grandfather was a Capricorn. So Capricorns, what do I admire about Capricorns? I admire that Capricorns are assholes, and they mean it with every fiber of their being. They do not front. Capricorn doesn't really have any friends. Capricorn has family, but Capricorn doesn't always have like sincere friends. I I know a Capricorn who he had a Gemini. He's Gemini rising with a Pisces moon. He was like Satan on wheels. But he had a lot of friends. There's that Gemini aspect because he doesn't like to be still, that sort of thing. So anyway, what do I admire about Capricorn? Capricorn, an evolved Capricorn, like an old school Capricorn, a Capricorn like that of my grandfather, they hold shit down. They want shit a certain way in their house. They're quick to flip. Just do shit right so you don't have to get flipped on, because guess what? You're going to get flipped on either way, right? With the Capricorn, if shit just off GP sometimes. But they mean well. They want you to do better. They want you to be better. They want you to be better. And we can kind of see how these things connect with the other earth signs, right? With Virgo and with Taurus. So, but Capricorn rules. Like, if you're fucking with a Capricorn, it's the Capricorn's way or no way at all. And if you're a female Capricorn, as long as you're doing that with heavy Venus and moon energy, you can win. So, Capricorn, and a lot of Capricorns will be with other Capricorns. A whole nother story for a whole nother day. But what I admire about them is that they hold shit down within their home. They get shit done. I'm not talking about any weak Capricorns that, you know, allow themselves to get taken away with the waves. I'm talking about those Capricorns who know what the fuck they're here to do, who understand family, who are very, very serious about their shit. They're serious. You know, they might flip on their family. They might curse out their own family. They might curse out their wife. They might tell you not. They might tell you not to put that shit in your mouth, that you're getting fat and all that shit, but ultimately it's to help you. And not only that, let somebody fuck with you in the street. Capricorn's not having it. Capricorn ain't even gonna say nothing. Capricorn's just straight clotheslining them. So I love Capricorn because Capricorn is never gonna let you down, in the sense of an evolved Capricorn. They're not gonna let you down when it comes to, if they make a binding agreement with you, they're there for you till the very end. But it's important to know how to deal with a Capricorn. So they will also bring, I'm sorry about the bus, and then of course the light at the corner, so it's going to sit there for a second. But so also you will learn a hell of a lot from the Capricorn. You will learn what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And to you, when you hear it from a Capricorn, like, it's going to be like, how is this shit admirable? Because Capricorn, even though they may not, they're not really dreamers. They're doers. They're just like, let me get this shit done so I can have what I want. And they zoom in, they tend to focus on what's gonna get them to where they need to go. What kind of job do they need to get? What kind of career do they need to pursue in order to get them where they need to go? And they're very cut and dry about it. So initially you're gonna be like, what the fuck? I don't want to do that. My homegirl Joe used to say, and have a fucking an MTA job and do what? Wear fucking polyester pants? Like, she's like, that is just like, just can't, right? So point being, you're not gonna see it at first. Like, who wants to wear polyester pants when you just graduated from the Fashion Institute of Technology? Like, that's how I used to look at my grandfather. Like, are you serious right now? Like, you want me to get a job with the MT fucking A? But they tell you things that make sense. Because had you listened to them at a certain point, you could have went and created your own, what do you call that? Your own business. You know, you could have already built certain organizations that you had in mind. You could have, you know, be doing all the things that you want to do. You could be going on trips, because it's all about having that solid ground. It's about Saturn. It's Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is ruled by the knees. They know how to get on their knees early. All right, what the fuck is it that I got to do? I got to get on my knees within and just fucking do it to attain the prize at the end. And they always got a jewel for you when it comes to knowledge. Don't get it twisted. These Capricorns, they might seem very traditional and all that, but let me tell you one thing about a Capricorn. They know about other realms of spirituality. They know about everything from Christianity to let's just say Ifa, or they just know about things. They've absorbed these things out from other sources, and they will drop jewels on you. They may not go to church and none of that shit. They may not participate in any of that shit, but they're definitely aware of all those realms. So that's what I love and admire about Capricorn. Who's next? What we got next? Aquarius. Ooh, this is a tough one for me. So let me see. What do I admire about Aquarius? I have South Node Aquarius. So I guess I've detached from all things. My homegirl would beg to differ. My homegirl Cassane, who's got a Scorpio moon and she's an Aries. She says I still do have a lot of those aspects of Aquarius, but I guess mentally I detach from them because of the whole, you know, past life relation there. So anyway, what do I admire? I can say what I admire about Aquarius. I admire that Aquarius can get in any fucking field, more specifically media and entertainment, and they can fucking win. They earn top dollar. They know how not to be seen. They run rings so fast that you don't even see them doing it. I had the pleasure of having dinner with George Tillman when we wrapped up the movie. Well, when he wrapped up his movie and I worked on set for The Inevitable Defeat of Mr. and Pete. And, you know, just, you know, was telling, you know, sharing my ideas about Paradox Report at that time and that sort of thing. And he was just really, really cool and down to earth. And just very interesting when, you know, when I was learning about all the movies that he had made, because I'm not a movie watcher. But, you know, and his dynamic with his personal relationships and that sort of thing. He's just a very real individual, but his fucking life was like, his life is about making these movies. Like, this is his life. Yes, he is married and they, you know, they have a great dynamic between them, not to get into all of that, but from what I had gathered, looking from the perspective of analyzing him with that Aquarius energy, it's like, okay, yes, I can have a relationship, but what my focus is, what I'm here to do is to contribute to society. And I think that is what really the Aquarius is here for. Aquarius is not necessarily here to have loving, you know, relationships. They want relationships in which they can build, or where that person understands or understands and overstands that, hey, I don't know who that is texting me. Hey, now I lost my train of thought. But, oh wait, so they're here to, somebody that overstands. Somebody that can overstand that they're not going to be home. That they're going to be in fucking Japan for the next 12 to 18 months. And you're welcome to come if you want, or you can stay there with the kids. The Aquarius is just like, I think that's what makes them out of this world, because they're not connecting on the lower level. That's where that innovation and that sort of things comes from, and wisdom. And that's what comes with the waves. The symbol of their waves, that was actually, the ancient symbol was 2 snakes, and being as wise as a serpent, and that sort of thing. So what I love about Aquarius is that they're really here to build. Their detachment game is crazy. Like, their fallback game is real quick, and they don't really spend too much time. I mean, I can't tell you one Aquarius that's ever came and like cried to me. I have like, Aquarius is just like, they'll complain about it maybe for a minute or two, and then they're like, all right, what the fuck ever. So I admire that. I admire anyone who is not like so obsessed with what they feel they need internally, or what this so-called love thing is. I admire that. So, yeah, and I admire the fact that, if you think about it, let's think about it. Rick Ross, Oprah, Aaliyah, Alicia Keys. Those are only 3 I can think of, 3 or 4 I can think of off the back right now. Usually I can name a whole list of them, but nevertheless, point is, they're all involved in some sort of entertainment, and it's very, I'm not gonna say it's easy for them, because I don't want y'all to get the wrong idea. These motherfuckers have been doing this shit from the gate, where somebody has been nurturing them to do these things from the beginning. So they've always worked on it, and they get what they came for. They begin to achieve what it is they're here for. So that's what I love and admire. Not loathe, but what I admire about Aquarius. Last, and definitely not least, Pisces. All right. Let's see. I'm just looking at the sky because it's getting a little cloudy. I gotta go to school in a little bit. So, Pisces. What can I say about my Pisces? A lot of things I could loathe about Pisces, but that's for the next video. Pisces. Pisces are very creative. Pisces are very funny. Pisces can pick up on how you feel, but the thing about a lot of Pisces is that they will use that shit to kill your soul. They will use it to slit your motherfucking throat. I like to say Pisces can set a fire. They can set a fire, and I don't know, this is definitely not what I admire, but they can set a fire and in front of, they can set the fire in front of everybody, and yet nobody will know that it was the fucking Pisces that did it. I don't know that I can really admire that, but what I can admire is that they are creative. They and of all Pisces, you will see them doing things. You will see their paintings. You will see their craftsmanship. You will see them diligently working on it. And the thing about the Pisces is that a lot of the time they can be lazy, or they don't want to do. They just don't entertain the fact of nurturing their creativity. And I'm not really sure what that comes from. It could be just laziness. It could be not believing. It could be that it comes entirely too easy. I have a son that has a Pisces moon. His thing is music. It comes very natural for him. But do I see him working on it diligently? I am listening to music diligently, and listening to instrumentals diligently. But when I try to make things more of like how could you say, like consistent and in a certain order or organization, right? For him to work on it or work on other aspects of music, he does not want to do it. So, you know, it could be because I'm his mother and I'm trying to tell him how to do that. But I don't really know what that is about with a lot of Pisces. And maybe because they prefer just to be in their head and do it, you know, at will when they're ready to. I have Mercury in Pisces. Did I say Aries or Pisces? We're talking about Pisces. With Pisces, I have Mercury in Pisces. So I like to be in my head a lot. I like, you know, I could just literally sit all day and be thinking or reading or gathering just different information, and like I'm good with that. So maybe, and there can be, and that's not always a good thing, like, because you got to put action towards things. So I know this is supposed to be what I admire about Pisces, and that's a bit of a challenge, but I admire the fact that when they're ready to work, they can do it seamlessly and effortlessly. It's like, it's just so natural for them. It's like, well, why don't you do this all the time? So, and I admire that Pisces can see things. You know, Pisces too, well, now it depends on what kind of Pisces, because they're a different breed. So I have a very close Pisces friend, and I love her 100 grand. Isha. She's a Pisces, but she's a February Pisces. She's in the first decan of Pisces. So I know that she's very different. She's not manipulative. She's not. That second decan is something. That second and third decan is a tricky entity in and of itself. But what I love about them is that they will come to you when you, like, if you really need a fucking Pisces, you fucking say the word, they're there. They're gonna be there for you. If you need something done at the last minute, if it's your hair or you need a ride somewhere, the Pisces will be there for you. With no questions asked. It's like, all right, I'm there. Because they can feel, they know when you really need them. So I admire that about Pisces. And again, like, when I think about my homegirl Isha, who's a Pisces, I'm like, this bitch is so ill with the hair. Like math, you have to know mathematics in order to space braids on someone's head, you know, so magnificently. I mean, she's ill with the braiding and that sort of thing. But again, I notice with all of these Pisces that I'm thinking of is that they don't, and I know it's supposed to be an admirable aspect that I'm speaking on, but I can only go from my own experience of having Pisces around me. And what I noticed about all of them is that, yeah, if you call Pisces today and you say, look, say they're not working or they're just off that day or whatever, you'll be like, look, you want to make some more money or whatever, Pisces is there. However, and they will get there and they will fucking do the job better than everybody fucking else does. And everybody else can. And it's like, well, if you could do that, why don't you do that shit with your own life? So I admire that Pisces can do anything. I admire that they can see things, that they're very spiritually aware, even though they may not even tell you that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's very strange, the Pisces energy. So, but I admire those things about them. Because for some of us, like for me, when I used to go to school for sketching, Aries, I didn't know how to draw. I had to learn how to draw. With Pisces, it's like once you get them in that school atmosphere, they know how to do it all already. So I wonder if it's the aspect is that they get bored or what have you. So maybe some of you Pisces can help me figure that out. All right, so that's it. We wrapped it up. That is what I admire about each sign of the zodiac. And I will follow up with the video of what I loathe about each sign. All right, talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.
Paradox.